What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio and welcome to the Draftkings Picks and Prediction Show. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, where me, Weezy, Monk, and Gordo break down the upcoming card from a DFS perspective and give our predictions on the fights as well. As always, we're going to be going back and forth throughout the panel members. We're going to be talking our fight to target, our fight to fade, our fighter to fade, our favorite dog. We're going to talk some prize picks, our GPP play, cash play, value play, dart throw, and then we'll go over our lineups from last week. We'll talk about our lineups for this week. Should be a fun show here and should be a fun card overall and a very interesting slate. We have a 14-fight slate with the first $9,700 fighter in a long time. It's been like years since we've seen a fighter priced over $9,600. So that should be interesting. We'll talk more about that, but I'm here with Weezy, Monk, and Gordo. We'll start with you, Weezy. Initial thoughts on the slate?
It's one of my favorite slates of the year, just from a gambling perspective, from being able to find spots where you think lines are mispriced. And for some reason, when we have fight cards that have more fights on it, it's like people can't concentrate on each fight as much, and we find some inefficiencies in the market. When it comes to DraftKings, I just think that when you look at the distribution of salaries, man, there are just so many ways to go. It's going to be a wild week. I can't wait to chop it up with you guys.
Should be wild indeed. Monk, how are you looking forward to this card?
What's up, boys? Yeah, to echo what Weezy said, man, these bigger cards, I agree. A lot of fights tend to get overlooked. There's definitely some smash spots here. Like you said, Brady, 9,700. We haven't seen the likes of that since before DraftKings changed their salaries and their scoring system over 2 years ago. So that should be interesting. I mean, I have a feeling he's going to be one of the biggest, most highest owned fighters on the card, regardless because of his opponent. But we will see. Definitely looking forward to this card, though.
And last but not least, we got Gordo. Gordo, what is up? You looking forward to UFC Vegas 60?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to trying to be like Joe Pyfer, man. He's got that big name now after he got all that praise, and now he's got that big salary to go along with it. But no, a super fun card from an entertaining standpoint as well. Not only does Weezy and I agree that we have some good bets here, but I really like the entertainment value. There's some really, really good scraps, some great bouts where you can target both sides, try to get different, and I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Hopefully our lineups can be like Joe Pyfer, and hopefully we make out this weekend on Saturday. Should be a fun card. Before we get started, guys, as always, leave a like, subscribe here to Pub Sports Radio. As we said earlier, we do go live every Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, we are going to start with the fight to target. And I think there's like a lot of options this week. I'll kick this one off. I'm going to take the pretty obvious one. We have Gregory Rodrigues going against Chidi and Njokuani. I like this fight to target for many reasons. It kind of feels like the Ion Kudalaba Johnny Walker fight last week, where somebody's going to get finished, and somebody's probably going to get finished in the very first round. So I like the salaries here. You have 8,200 for Rodrigues. You have 8,000 for Chidi and Njokuani. Looks like Chidi is taking some love on the money line. I think you saw him at like minus 127 just a bit ago. So I think he'll probably be the more popular guy, but I will have both guys in this matchup. I think both guys are very, very live to finish. Both guys are super dangerous, have a ton of power, and both guys can be finished. Njokuani's been finished in 6 of his 7 losses. I think 3 by sub, 3 by knockout. So Rodrigues is definitely live to finish the fight. And on the flip side, Chidi has so much power in his hands. It's not often you see somebody go out there and starch Marc-André Barriault, let a less in like 15 seconds. So I do like the Njokuani side ever so slightly more, but I will have a good amount of this fight as a whole. I think it's a very, very good fight to target, especially at these price tags. Weezy, how about you? What is your favorite fight to target for this week?
I'm going to say the Hernandez Barriault fight, just because Hernandez is in it. Look, when this guy wins fights, let me get this up on the screen here. His wins: 129, 134.76, 93.95, 117.15 points in Hernandez's wins. In his losses, he's given up 86 and 130 points. The guy's pace and volume that he puts on people is legendary. He's getting his takedowns at a 70% clip. He's averaging 5.39 takedowns per 15 minutes. He's attempting 2.31 submissions per 15 minutes. He's landing his strikes at almost a 60% clip. This is everything about Anthony Hernandez brings DraftKings points. And if you're fighting him, the only way to do it is to be like him and bring a pace. And Barriault is somebody who does that. Barriault is probably going to meet him in the middle and throw a lot of volume as well. So I think either side of this fight that you take, you're going to get a guy who's probably going to be scoring around 4 points a minute for as long as they're in the cage.
Yep, I think that's a very good one. Monk, what do you got for the fight to target? I know there's a ton of options this week.
There are a ton of options. Real quick, let me give you some interesting stats for your choice. Rodrigues and Njokuani, average fight time over there, since 1/121, they've had 6 total fights. Average fight time is less than 8 minutes. Total bonus points per fight is 71. They've put up, either them or their opponents have put up over 100 in 4 of those 6 wins. 5 of those 6 wins, someone has made the optimal lineup target this fight. It is an obvious one. I'll go ahead and give you Cory Sandhagen and Song Yadong. This one's going to be a banger, guys. I think it goes all 15 or all 25 minutes. Actually, striking battle. If you've in recent histories, we've seen those fights score extremely, extremely well, especially for the winner. In a few cases, the stack has even been good. I do not subscribe to that theory this week with so many fights, but I do think the winner scores very well. I mean, out of they've fought, let's see, 7. They've had 7 fights total since beginning of last year. 4 times someone has seen the optimal. 3 times someone has been finished. Twice someone's been finished in the first round. I mean, these guys are putting up tons of points in their fights. That's the Njokuani, who also puts up a ton of fights. But Sandhagen's average per win, 105.3, scores 3.77 a minute. When Song Yadong wins, 94, almost 95 per win, and well over 3 points a minute as well. Yadong's coming in at $1,600 under his average salary, guys. If you like Song Yadong this week, get him in your lineups at $7,000. I mean, the fighters around him are, Cameron Van Camp, Luis Cosce, Trey Ogden, Denise Gomes. One of these things is not like the other, and it is Song Yadong in a good way. So I love him at that price tag. I think Yadong will probably take over early, but then Sandhagen maybe 3, 4, and 5. You should watch out for that. This one's going to be a banger, and if Song Yadong can hang on, he's got a great chance of making optimal at that price. And Sandhagen, with these scores that these strikers have been putting up lately in these 5-round fights, also has a great shot. So I love the main event for GPP for a good fight to target this week.
Absolutely, right there with you. And then Gordo, what do you like in a target this week?
Yeah, a ton of options, and I wanted to make sure that I grabbed them that you guys weren't going to. So I completely agree with all yours, but one a little bit flying under the radar this week for me is going to be Tony Gravely versus Barriault. I think that's one I'm going to target a lot more than a lot of other people. I think it's pretty simple because you got a guy in Tony Gravely, his fight style, his ability to go out there and win fight, his style in general creates DraftKings points. And you look at his wins. I mean, he puts up over 100 points in all of them, over 125 and 50% of his wins in the UFC. And I really like his ability to go out there and accrue points. But on the other side, I think it's pretty simple. I think you have Gravely who's going to go out there, put up a dominant win with a lot of DraftKings points, but Barriault's win condition for me scores also very well. I would not be surprised if he found the chin of Tony Gravely. I would not be surprised if he caught Tony Gravely and something like that. I think it's either a finish for Barriault's side or a dominant decision win with Gravely. Both of those scoring very, very high. So give me some violence in the spot. Give me a fight that's hopefully flying under the radar, and I think I am going to be targeting this one from both sides.
Yeah, so 4 good ones there, and like I said, there's more options too. I think Robertson Agapova is a very good one to target. I think Mata Van Kamp's a very good one to target. I even think Pat Sabatini, Damon Jackson is a very good one to target. So yeah, lots of options this week, lots of very high scoring fights. I think we're going to see some big scores this week. But let's go to the fight to fade, and this one is tricky because there's literally only one option. I tried my best to find a different option, but I literally couldn't. So I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts, but I'm with Loma Luke Bumi, Denise Gomez. It's plus 190. Fight doesn't go to decision. Loma Luke Bumi at 9,500 is just, it's laughable. I think she has maybe one finish in her career. She's not going to go out there and, spam takedowns. I don't see her finishing Gomez. I mean, 9,500, pretty easy fade. And on the flip side, just Gomez coming in here on short notice against a much better striker in Luke Bumi. I just don't like her chances. I don't think she's going for takedowns. So I think this is going to play out on the feet for 15 minutes. Don't see a ton of going on. Like I said, I tried my best to find a different fight, but I really couldn't. So yeah, fade for me. I'm curious to your guys' thoughts, Gordo. And is there any other fight that you would fade on the slate?
You know what? It's a very, very tough one. And I really tried to be different as well. Well, that is the clear and obvious answer. When you have Loma, who's at 9.5K, which would typically be the highest salary for anybody on the slate, it's really hard to go out there and it's just a wide line. That is my fight to target. I tried to get different. I looked around. But really, I see a lot of these fights finishing and or putting up a lot of points in the other place. I think that I'm a bit under the field in the Sabatini-Jackson fight, and I think that may be a secondary one for me. I do think that one could be some extended grappling exchanges, not too many DraftKings points in the first place. But no, the clear and obvious answer is going to be the Loma versus Gomez fight.
Yep. Monk, how about you? What fight are you fading for this week?
Yeah, that is the clear one. I'll try to get different here. In fact, if Loma wins, what was I just looking at? Oh, her current ownership, Loma at 9,500, which is the winningest salary. It has a 90% win rate in a year and 9 months, 13%. So
Ooh.
I don't know what that means exactly. I mean, it makes me want to go over immediately just because that's crazy. But at the same time, everything we all just said kind of counterintuitive to that. So I'll try to look for. I don't know about this one. This is almost a dart throw fade fight. Is Trey Ogden, Daniel Zellhuber? I don't know much about this fight. Zellhuber should probably win. Trey Ogden doesn't look great. The guy only wins by submission. Zellhuber never been subbed. He is a perfect 11-0. It's the $9,400 salary to me. That is that's asking a lot from a guy that I don't know anything about, that has no UFC fights. At least Trey Ogden has one UFC fight. And say what you want about him, he did go all 15 minutes with the inimitable Jordan Levitt. So and it was a close fight, against a guy that has several UFC fights in Levitt. Ogden kept it very, very close. Even landed a takedown, landed 40 some strikes in 15 minutes. So at 8,300, that was a bit overpriced for him, but this week he's 6,800. So if they're, I'll be on that side a little bit. Zellhuber, I mean, this fight's just a fade in general until I can put a name to what these guys do, to when I can actually see what they're doing at this level. So give me the fade on Zellhuber a bit at 9,400. I'm sure I'll be under the field at that extremely high price tag there. And I don't know how much of Trey Ogden I'm going to get to. So give me a fade on this one just to get a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much ownership's going to be on that fight, but we'll have to see. Should be a good one, though. Weezy, how about you? What fight are you fading for this week?
Yeah, I mean, most weeks I would have known that you guys would have just said Loma Gomez and look for something else, but I'm under the weather. It's Loma Gomez. I mean, look, I'm not going to try and get cheeky here or anything like that. You're talking about two ladies who average less than 3 DraftKings points a minute. Loma couldn't squash a grape. She's got only one finish in her entire career, and I think it was maybe her first or second fight against a very low-level opponent. So, yeah, this probably goes a full 15. It's if you're lucky, maybe 75 points out of the winner. So yeah, it's an easy one to stay away from.
Sounds good. We'll transition right into our fighter to fade. I'm going to chicken out here. I mean, this is the easiest fade I've ever seen in my days of playing DraftKings. Loma Lookboonmee. I mean, watch her go out there and get a 60-second knockout. But I mean, it's so unlikely that she's going to score well here, at least to hit that $9,500 price tag. And there's so many good options around her as well. It's just an easy fade, just not second guessing it. Fading Loma Lookboonmee, and there's a couple other fades I could look at. I'm curious to your guys' thoughts, but I'll take the easy one right off the bat. Monk, how about you? Who are you fading for this week?
I'm gonna go Javid Basharat, the Snow Leopard. I know him and his brother are both fighting this week, so we'll see how the Basharat family, how that pans out for him at the end of the week. But I'm huge on Tony Gravely this week. $7,600. This guy is, Weezy was talking before the podcast how we were kind of listening to the Martian and Ozzy podcast. Shout out to those guys. They're amazing guys. I don't know which one it was, but they were saying, Tony Gravely could be a top 20, 30 bantamweight fighter at this bantamweight division. And I don't disagree here at all. His DraftKings upside is also insanely high. 5.24 points a minute, 110 when he wins. And Basharat has had one UFC fight against Trevin Jones. Why is this guy favored so highly over Tony freaking Gravely, who's out here finishing folks? The only L he took was to Nate Maness, second round KO. He finished Johnny Munoz Jr. in a punch that no one even really saw. Munoz just goes down. Simon Oliveira, newcomer, he ran through him. Anthony Burchak, so there are some names, where he's just running through guys. And I don't see how Basharat is going to be much different. Yeah, he's a tough guy, but I mean, he put up 2.37 points a minute and 65 in his 15-minute win over Trevin Jones. I think Gravely's got him covered absolutely everywhere, to be honest. His hands are better. His takedowns at control time are 2.62 points per minute. I mean, insane wrestling this guy has. He's got cardio for days. He will attempt, 14 takedowns, and Barriault can get up supposedly, so that is great for DraftKings. Rinse and repeat takedowns, as I always say. But I think Gravely gets it done, and I think he could get it done inside the distance. And at 7,600, you're getting a deal on him, 1,200 under his average salary. Give me tons of Tony Gravely this week.
You muted, Brady?
Yeah, and actually, I finished that wrong. This is the fade. So tons of Tony Gravely. Give me the big fade, therefore, on Javid Barriault. Sorry, I worded that a little bit odd.
I was gonna say, like, that could be a hot take. There's a lot of hype on Javid Barriault. So if Gravely does get the win, I think that's going to be a huge edge there, and I think Gravely's a phenomenal dog as well. Gordo, how about you? Who are you fading for this week?
Yeah, there's one obvious answer, and this is one where I did try to get different. $9,500. It's really hard to get to her, but let's go down. Let's be different. The only other favorite I'm fading a lot more is going to be Andre Fili, 8.3K. I do think that his win condition probably doesn't score that well on DraftKings. I'm not too high on him ownership wise. I do think that it's a fight. It's going to be a close fight, and I get the fact that he should be favored here, and I think that he does have the ability to go out there to win the fight. I just don't see him, first of all, putting the lights out of Algeo. I don't see him putting out a ton of volume. I think Algeo's going to have volume edge as well. So at 8.3K, it's hard for me to get to him above the Rodrigues Njokuani fight, above Robertson and Barriault, unlike Monk. But he's just sandwiched between a lot of people who I think will outscore him, and therefore really hard for me to get to him at 8.3K. Aside from Loma, he's my biggest fade.
Okay, sounds good to me. And then Weezy, how about you? Who are you fading?
Yeah, like I said, I'm sick, you guys. It's Loma Luke Boonme at 9,500. Just don't roster her. I mean, anything can happen. It's a fight. And of course, if you're entering 100, 150 lineups, you're not going to completely fade her, because what if Denise Gomez, gets kicked in the calf and her leg goes dead? What if she has a horrible weight cut? It's short notice. I mean, anything can happen, and you never know. Maybe Loma does get a finish, but look, if you're throwing in a couple lineups, you can't get to Loma Luke Boonme at 9,500 ever. It would be very irresponsible of you. It's nothing more than a leverage play, treated as such.
Yep, completely agree. All right, we will move on to our favorite dog here, and we will start with you, Monk. Who is your favorite dog for this week?
Well, other than all of the praise I just gave Tony Gravely, just go back and rewind that if you want a dog pick. But I'll give you, man, there's one obvious one, and it's right on the fence. So I'll get different, because I'm sure someone will say it. Shit, where did it go? Who's she fighting? There we go. Sarah McMahon. I love this fight for Sarah McMahon against Aspen Ladd at 7,800. We're getting a nice little mid-range underdog here, guys. 3.52 points a minute. 93, 94 when she wins. She's 700 under her average salary. And this fight on some totals numbers is actually could be sneaky to finish. The average fight time is not good. Neither one of them they've each had 2 fights in the past year and a half. Neither one, them or their opponents, have put up over 100 points. There has been one finish, but twice someone in their fights has made the optimal lineup. I believe it was even Sarah McMahon the last time. She came out and got a huge win over Carl Hossa, 88 points at $7,300. Guys, she is 7,800 this week against Aspen Ladd. And what is Aspen? I mean, can you sit here and tell me what Aspen Ladd does, what her exact path to victory is in this fight? Because I can't. She is all over the board most of the time. I just love the upside of Sarah McMahon, and the only thing that's holding me back is she is about to be 42 years old. However, like I said, Aspen Ladd, in my opinion, cannot be trusted. She could get a win here, Ladd, but I love the DraftKings upside of Sarah McMahon. I mean, in her wins, her 7 wins, 4 of them she's scored over 90 points, 2 of them over 110. She's got 2.11 points a minute in takedowns and control time. Guys, this is fantastic. While Aspen Ladd gives up half a point per minute in those categories, I'll be a little bit different here. Give me Sarah McMahon for a decent little underdog play. And you talk about low owned. This fight is going to be completely overlooked this week. So give me some Sarah McMahon over the field.
Yep, you actually stole mine, Monk. I really, really like Sarah McMahon this week. So
Nice.
I'm going to go a little bit different here. And this is a guy that is a favorite actually on the money line. He's like -125, -130, but he is priced as a very slight dog on DraftKings. And that is Chidi Njokuani, 8,000. I'll go with him. I mean, this guy has so much power in his hands. I think he turned a corner in his career. You go back and watch tape on this guy, and he's looking like a bum at times. He's quitting in fights. He's getting finished a couple of years ago, but I just don't think that Chidi exists anymore. This guy's going out there and starching Dusko Todorovic. He's going out there and starching a very tough and durable Marc-André Barriault. And I think he can go out there and starch a Rodrigues who gets hurt and doesn't have the greatest chin. So I like Njokuani, 8,000. I have a ton of them, but McMahon was my original dog. And I think there's a couple more that I like as well. But Weezy, who's your favorite dog this week?
It's Sarah McMahon. I'm not changing mine because Monk said it, because Sarah McMahon is just a great DraftKings player, period. 3.62 DraftKings points a minute. That'll be different than Monk's number because UFC Stats is wrong on one of Sarah McMahon's fights in terms of where the control time went. And they credited it to McMahon's opponent rather than McMahon.
Oh, that's right.
She's actually got 3.62 DraftKings points a minute. But listen to the takedowns. 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. The last fight she didn't get a takedown in, it was the year 2015. It was against Amanda Nunes. And we kind of know how that fight went, right? But look, after she lost to Renault and Vieira back-to-back, she went and she started doing grappling competitions. And now she's figured it out. Her last 3 fights, Lena Landsberg, 900 seconds, 804 seconds of control time for Sarah McMahon. 0 seconds of control time allowed. Against Juliana Pena, 441 seconds of control time in an 819-second fight. And she won the first 2 rounds of that fight clearly and made a mistake in the 3rd round, let Juliana get on top, and we know how good Juliana is on top. The Carol Hossa fight, 627 seconds of control time out of 900. After that fight, you see Carol Hossa walk up to Sarah McMahon. Her eyes are as big as saucers, and you hear her on the mic say, "You so strong," right? And look, she is. Sarah McMahon is a fucking problem. I am laughing that she's an underdog here against Aspen Ladd. She's going to take this girl down in every single round, and Aspen Ladd is going to be wearing Sarah McMahon like a cheap suit for 900 seconds. Watch. This is Sarah McMahon all day. I think you're muted again, bro.
2 for 2.
Yeah.
I'm tweaking today. What's going on?
It's going around, man. You were sick. Now I'm sick. It's all.
Maybe I'm still a little sick.
Falling apart.
Yes, I need to get together. Maybe I was just mesmerized by that breakdown of yours. So great
Beautiful.
breakdown there. But yeah, hopefully I stay off the mute button. Gordo, how about you? Who are you liking as far as a dog goes?
Yeah, I love the breakdowns from you guys. I don't mind McMahon myself, but we're going to get a bit cheaper. We're going to look for that salary relief because we all know how much I like some Joe Pyfer this week. So we need some of that salary relief. We're going to go to Cameron Van Camp, 6.9K. I think this is a spot where, of course, we have to address the elephant, which is his striking defense, his ability to get hit, the fact he got knocked out 4 months ago. But I think that in terms of a minute winner and a better mixed martial artist, I think that Van Camp may have this. I mean, he's a huge dude. I'm looking how he's going to see on the weight cut and the scale on Friday, but I think that he has the better grappling, the better wrestling. I think he's got better output. I think he's got better, ways to win this fight. I think aside from being nuked, which is definitely a possibility, he should definitely exceed that 6.9K salary. The big thing I don't mind about this is although that Mata does have that insane power and could probably touch the chin of Van Camp, it's not like Mata has a brick for a head either. He's been knocked out. The knockout and finish is also there for Van Camp. I just think he has more paths to victory and does have a better chance than the 6.9K price does entail.
Absolutely. Mata's been finishing all his losses. I think Mata's, pretty chinny as well, but Mata also has that power. So he very well could knock out Van Camp. I think it's on the table, but I think, vice versa. I think Van Camp's very live for a finish in his own right. All right. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk some prize picks. If you guys are not on prize picks, be sure to sign up using promo code PUBSports. And I will start with you, Gordo. Was there anything sticking out on prize picks for you this week?
Well, don't want to have myself muted. That's your specialty today. No, for sure. There's definitely a few things that are going to be sticking out to me. And for me, I don't like to play too much of the significant strikes. I look more towards the fantasy score and takedowns. For me, although it is a very, very high number, I do think that Joseph Pyfer still gets over 118. But the favorite play for me on the entire slate, let me just pull it up here, is going to be there we go. I think Anthony Hernandez 3 takedowns is too low. We talked about the get-up game of Marc-André Barriault. We talked about the fact that he just spams them constantly. I think that's going to be his biggest path to victory. I like the fact that Barriault always pushes forward. It's going to be a problem for Hernandez. Hernandez can have the opportunity to go out there. I think his largest path to victory relies on more than 3 takedowns.
Beautiful. Love it. Right there with you on that one. Monk, how about you? You like anything on Prize Picks this week?
I mean, the only thing I like more than that is probably the Jillian Robertson over 2 takedowns. Are we serious here? She's only going to land 1 takedown in this fight. I do not see that happening. I mean, Maria Agapova. I mean, what are we doing here? Let me just pull up the stats if I can just vamp for a second. There we go. Let's see. She was taken down twice by Moroz. She was taken down. Oh yeah, the big one here, the one that put me over. She was taken down and lost this fight to Shayna Dobson, guys. She's 4-5. Shayna Dobson professionally got taken down twice by Dobson. Robertson's going to smash this girl. 100 takedowns in this fight. Go over on Robertson takedowns.
Yep, if Shannon Dobson can get you down, I think Robertson can absolutely do so. Weezy,
right?
What are you looking at on Prize Picks this week?
Yeah, I like both of those. I think Anthony Hernandez might get 6 or 7 takedowns in this fight. I think that Jillian probably gets at least 2, but I just heard something. You know, she's training at a mostly wrestling camp now with Dean Thomas. What are they called? I forgot what they were called, but evidently, you know, she's been working on her wrestling a lot, and Agapova's got less than 50% takedown defense. There's some interesting fight time ones here. The Boser Nascimento fight is at 7.5 minutes, and I'm not sure if Nascimento has ever been over 7.5 minutes in his career, so that could be an interesting under. And I also think the Jillian Robertson fight probably finishes inside the distance. I think she's going to sub this girl probably in the second round. So under 11 minutes fight time for Jillian Robertson, I think is also a good look.
All right, for me, I went with the Mata under 42.5 significant strikes. I figured if he's landing at least 40, like he's going to knock out Cameron Van Camp, who blocks punches with his face. And on top of that, like Mata's so low volume in general, he barely throws anything. But when he does throw and land, he lands very hard. So I think that does go under there. And then I also like the Trevin Giles under 1.5 takedowns. Like, do you really think Trevin Giles is going to go out there and wrestle? I think he should. I absolutely think he should, but I say that in every fight. It's just not something he does. I think he did get 5 takedowns. I want to say that was either in his debut. Yeah, that was in his debut. He got 5 takedowns there, but since then, he hasn't got more than 1 takedown, and it's been like 7 or 8 fights. So I think under 1.5 takedowns for Trevin Giles. Also that under on the Mata. Jillian Robertson over on takedowns. Robertson under fight time. And well, which one did you have, Gordo? You had the
over on Fili Hernandez takedowns.
Yes, that one I like a lot. So I think there's a lot of great options this week on Prize Picks. So if you guys are not on there already, be sure to sign up and use promo code PubSports. Alrighty, let us move on to our favorite GPP play. I will kick this one off. I'm going to go with Jillian Robertson, 8,500. I really like her upside this week, and you know, she's somebody that she knows what she's good at, and she's going to have to know what she's good at in this fight, because if not, she probably gets knocked out. But she's going to wrestle, and she's going to get this fight down to the mat. Like you mentioned, Monk, Shanna Dobson's taking down Maria Agapova. Robertson, much better wrestler. Robertson, black belt in BJJ. I believe Agapova's a white belt. I think she should take her down and finish her. I like Robertson to win this fight, win inside the distance, takedown upside, control time upside. As long as she fights smart, I think she puts up a massive score. I'm hoping she's not too high owned, but I think Robertson has a ton of upside this week with the right game plan. Weezy, how about you? Who are you liking for GPP this week?
Anthony Hernandez this week. The guy is just a DraftKings monster, scoring over 5 DraftKings points per minute. You know, in a 6-fight sample size. Then I include the Contender Series fight too. You know, so. The guy's absolutely a volume monster. He's the middleweight version of of Jonathan Pierce in the featherweight division. You know, massive amounts of takedowns, tons of volume, drowns you with his conditioning. He'll wind up tired, but you're going to be so much more tired than he will be. And in addition to that, dude, like the guy's got a brick for a head, so you're not knocking him out unless you hit him to the body. That's how he's been finished both times, is to the body. So if Marc-André Barriault wants to finish this dude, he should not even try to target this guy's head. It's pointless punching Anthony Hernandez in the face because the dude just doesn't even feel it. He'll eat it like a flapjack and throw 7 strikes back your way. So go to his body. That's Barriault's only chance.
Yep, I love that one as well. Monk, how about you? Who are you liking for GPP this week?
I'll get a bit different. No one said his name yet. I love Pat Sabatini this week at 9K. This guy's 4-0 in the UFC. Like, another DraftKings gold guy other than like Hernandez. 4.36 points per minute, 96 per win. His DraftKings defensive pace is fantastic, allowing just 1.65 points per minute. Average value of over 11. 2.39 points per minute in takedowns and control time. This guy has some decent striking as well. He comes in here and he dominates fights, guys. Against his last 2 opponents, he's averaging 106 points per win. Damon Jackson has a decent last 4. Here are a decent last 5 record, strength of schedule, but his opponents are Daniel Argueta, Kamuela Kirk, Charles Rosa. Got smashed by Ilia Topuria. I just love the upside here of Pat Sabatini. Also, Damon Jackson's takedown defense should be noted, 40%. Gives up a ton of control time, actually, as well. Where did it go? Let's see. Damon Jackson's fought less than 70% of his total fight time inside the distance. He has controlled 50% of that time. Meanwhile, Sabatini's fought almost 80% of his fight time inside the distance. He's controlling well over 61% of that fight time. His hold down time is fantastic. Jackson has decent get-ups as well, which is, again, very good rinse and repeat takedowns is what I'd be looking for. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Sabatini subs this dude like in the second, third round. I would not be surprised about that. I think Pat Sabatini is a force to be reckoned with at this featherweight division. And I think Damon Jackson's nice little run here is about to come to an end. I just have a feeling that Sabatini can put it on him. So at that price, 9K is not too bad. Also, this guy scores 150% of the average featherweight fight for DraftKings. So that is the highest number out of all fighters on this card. 150% of the average DraftKings points per win is what Sabatini's putting up. So give me the huge upside of Sabatini over, I think, what is going to be the fading Damon Jackson.
Yeah, and I'm glad we finally talked about that fight because I think that fight scores very well. Takedown upside, reversal upside, control time upside on really either side there. So right there with you, I'll be playing a lot of both sides in that fight. Gordo, how about you? Who is your favorite GPP fighter in this slate?
Yeah, interesting. We're definitely a bit different on these ones. But anyways, for me, GPP, the whole goal of it is to get to the man Joe Pyfer, really. And I don't want to talk about him too much because, 9.7, we all know who he's facing. We all know that his inside the distance, minus 275. Instead, I'm going to look at a dog, and my GPP play is going to be Rodrigo Nascimento, 7.4K. I think that his win condition probably ends up in the first or second round, or first half of the second round, even at that. You have to think that he needs something to get Tanner Boser out of there if he's going to survive, because I don't think he has the cardio. I don't think he has a striking to keep up with this. I think he's really a one-trick pony that is going to be a first-round ground and pound or submission finish at 7.4K. If that happens at all, I do think he becomes optimal. He's a decent-sized risk, but I do think he has the wrestling and grappling once it's there to really put out Tanner Boser, and for that reason, I think he's a great GPP play, just with a little bit of risk, but that's why it's GPP, right?
Absolutely. So you are targeting that big ass of Nascimento there. I think a submission win can definitely be on the table. The guy is a black belt, so I do like that. It will have a decent amount of that as well. Decent amount of that ass. All right, we'll move on to the next. We have like a cash play here. We'll start with you, Weezy. Who's your favorite cash play for this week?
Yeah, I'm going with Jillian Robertson, actually. The path to victory is to wrestle. Agapova does not stop takedowns. I think that And look, Jillian Robertson's still only 26, 27 years old. She's been in the UFC since she's 21, I think. She's been around forever. And if she just keeps getting better in the wrestling, she's going to continue to win at this level over and over and over again because her back takes are so great. And that is a surefire. Look, Aljamain Sterling won the title by getting 2 back takes in 5 rounds, and then losing the other 3 rounds. But thank you, Sal D'Amato. But that's past this here. She is going to get probably 3 to 4 takedowns in this spot. And I think that we've seen Agapova quit a few times. So I'm thinking that maybe, we even get an inside the distance win here by Jillian Robertson. And the price is absolutely right, because we got to be real careful about where we're putting our money this week if we do want to go up there and get Body Bags Pyfer at 9,700. Are you muted again?
God, that has to be a record. That has to be a record. What is going on? Oh my goodness. There's no way it can make it to 4. We'll see. But we still have like 20 minutes left. Oh my gosh. All right. For me, I'm taking the easy way out. Give me Joe Pyfer, 9,700. Like I said, it's been a long time since we've seen a fighter over 9,600. And it doesn't make any sense because we've seen, Romanov, he was like minus 2,500 against Chase Sherman. We saw that, Maria Agapova, she was minus 1,000 against Shanna Dobson. She was like 9,600. We've seen Macy Barber. She was minus 1,000 against Roxanne Modafferi. We saw Devontae Smith. He was minus 1,000 against Kama Worthy. They were all 9,600, right? But now we have Joe Pyfer. The guy's only a minus 400 favorite. I think he's like minus 450 at best here. And I think he wins, but the price tag just makes no sense here. But that does not mean I'm not going to play him. It's a terrible matchup for Amedovski. I think Pyfer does whatever he wants here, and I think whatever he does, I think it's going to be in the first round. Pyfer, very dangerous anywhere the fight goes. Tons of power. Amedovski got knocked out in 15 seconds against who was it? Who was it?
Phillips.
It was Phillips.
John Phillips.
Tyson.
The white Mike Tyson,
Yes.
Just a horrible look there. And then we saw him get submitted in his last fight. Pyfer can take this guy down. Amedovski is a 0% takedown defense. A 0% takedown defense. A gust of wind can knock this guy over. I think, Pyfer gets on top. He can submit this guy, and I think he can knock him out. So 9,700, not going to scare me away. I think he puts up a massive score in the very first round. Gordo, how about you? Who are you liking for cash this week?
That Pyfer fight's insane because you have to think a guy in Amedovski, his win condition is going to be a first round knockout, but you give him a guy with a brick for a head and Pyfer. So really it's tough one. But no, my cash play, I was trying to get different. So we're going to take Daniel Zellhuber, 9.4K. I think it's a spot where the line is a bit too wide for me in DraftKings for GPP. But in cash gameplay, I have to think he's better almost everywhere here. I have to think this is a spot where he wins at a very, very high clip. So although he's a bigger price tag, I think he has the ability to go out there, be a relatively safe play. I think his floor is one of the highest in the slate. I think he has the ability to go out there, not really be controlled. I don't think Trey Ogden poses too much of a problem, whether it be power or grappling. I think that everywhere the fight goes, Hooper has him covered. I think he's the more dynamic striker, better technical striker. I think he is the better BJJ as well. I don't really see a problem too much for him to win this fight, and therefore he's going to be a high look in cash for me.
Sounds good. Monk, how about you? Who you liking in cash?
Yeah, this is obvious. I'm with you, Brady. It's Joseph Pyfer. I mean, even at 97, the only logic I can come up with as to why they did this is because we just saw, the salary fuckery, excuse my language, last weekend was off the charts, just completely insane. 3 unnatural salaries going. I think it's because we had a 96 and a 95 both make optimal last week. They're like, we don't know what to do. Screw this at night. Who knows what they're doing over at, I'm surprised that we even have all 14 salaries here for this show, to be completely honest. So 9,700 makes absolutely no sense. Like you said, Romanov was minus 2,500 against Chase Sherman. He was right there at 96. No one is 9,600 this week. They just skipped that salary entirely. Maybe it's because Alen Amedovski could be the worst fighter in the history of the promotion. I don't say that lightly. We have the likes of Harry Hunsucker. We have, Justin Tafa, Jared Vandera walking around these halls of the UFC. I think Alen Amedovski is probably the worst fighter that we've seen. 0.5 point per minute, guys, in 16 minutes of fight time. 0.5 point per minute. He allows 6.25 points a minute, 112 when he loses. Pyfer's going to run, Pyfer, however you say, is going to run all over this dude. Amedovski got finished in the first basically minute against Ugly Man Holmes. Like you guys said, John Phillips, he was a minus 130 favorite in that fight. Someone lined Alen Amedovski as a favorite in a UFC fight at one point. What a joke. Give me Joseph Pyfer. I don't know. I hate rostering him, but for cash, this is as pretty much a guarantee as it gets.
I sure hope so. All right, we'll move on to our favorite value play. We'll start with you. We'll stick with you, Monk. Who you liking for some value this week?
Let's see. We talked about Sarah McMahon. Let me get the other side of one of Gordo's picks, actually. Tanner Boser. I think this fight's going to go a bit under the radar, $8,800. I think Boser probably has all the tools to beat Nascimento here. Nascimento seems to be the better DraftKings scorer, but his DraftKings defense is terrible. He allows almost 5 points a minute. He allowed 140, almost 141 in his one UFC loss to that would have been Chris Daukaus, it looks like. Is that right? 141 points. How? Oh, it was a quick win. He got finished. That's it. Yeah, he got finished super quick. Boser's just going to have to stop takedowns. That's all he's going to have to do. Nascimento's probably going to gas himself out. Boser has decent cardio. Only been finished one time in his pro career out of 8 UFC losses. I think Boser's probably going to be the, have the better cardio. He's going to be able to last a bit longer. His DraftKings defense actually is the best on the card, allowing just 1.35 points per minute and 54 when he loses. Guys, he has 3 UFC losses, and he only gives up an average of 54.5 points. So I wouldn't be looking for Nascimento to make the optimal lineup short of like a first round freak submission here. I think Nascimento's probably going to gas out. Boser's going to, probably win the final 2 rounds if it goes the distance. And he could even finish this dude late in the fight. So give me Boser for a little bit of value this week at 8,800. I think he's going to be super low owned. So there's like Hernandez is around him at 87. We have tons of top end people that are going to be played a bunch. So I think Boser is going to be low owned for 8,800.
Yep, and that knockout is definitely going to be on the table. We saw Alen Badeau almost get Nascimento out of there. Huge red flag. Weezy, how about you? Who are you liking for some value this week?
For me, it's Tony Gravely. The guy's numbers are just absolutely sick. It's not that I don't think it's a great matchup for him or anything. I think Javid is a very good striker, very tricky, constantly switching stances. But I also think that Gravely could do things that would make Javid uncomfortable. When you're switching stances as a striker and using really good footwork, I think that's a good way to confuse a great striker, but Gravely's probably just going to walk forward and throw bombs and use those bombs that he's throwing at your head to set up his takedown entries. And if he does that, I think that Javid's going to be uncomfortable here, and he's not going to be able to look as smooth as he looks in his fights, when he's fighting guys that are willing to stand with him, are willing to let him initiate the wrestling. You don't get to initiate the wrestling against Tony Gravely. This guy's going to shoot before you do. So I think that there's some really good upside here from an underdog. And look, he's got power too. That's the other thing about Gravely that people don't realize. This guy's knocking people out. He's knocking people down. He's got really good power numbers for the division.
Yep, and I want the same thing. Tony Gravely, a very close fight, honestly. But if Gravely does win this fight, I think he has one of the highest, if not the highest ceiling as an underdog. I know Sarah McMahon has that wrestling upside. Tony Gravely, same thing. He has a ton of wrestling upside. He has that knockout upside. Javid's never lost a fight, but he's never fought anybody anywhere near the caliber of wrestler like a Tony Gravely. So I think this fight is going to tell us a lot about Javid here. But yeah, if Gravely does win, I think he puts up a massive, massive score in either a knockout win or a decision where he's racking up a ton of takedowns. So right there with you, Weezy, I do like me some Tony Gravely for some value. A very close fight there. Could go either way, in my opinion. Gordo, how about you? Who are you liking for some value this week?
Yeah, my value play is one we've talked about enough, so I'm going to keep it really short and sweet. But it's going to be Sarah McMahon, 7.8K. I do think I completely agree with all your sentiments here. I think that the line is a bit mispriced. I think she has the ability to go out there, accrue takedowns, control time. I really do like her here at 7.8K. I just think she has a pretty good floor here, and of course, there's always that question of the age and her ability to go out there and sustain it for 3 rounds. But even at that, her floor in the first 2 rounds should be good enough to hold up that 7.8K price tag. I really do like her as some value.
Sounds good. All right, we'll get to our dart throw now. For me, it's going to be, I don't think we've talked about this fight once, and I think it's one that we probably should talk about. It's going to be a Trevin Giles going against Louis Cosce. Looks like they have the fight, doesn't go to decision. They're at -300 on BetOnline. But yeah, my dart throw is actually going to be Cosce here at 7,100. This guy has a 100% finish rate. He's super dangerous. I mean, take a look at his wins. He got his debut in 2017, knocked out his opponent in 32 seconds, first round. The next fight, 4 minutes and 34-second submission win in the first round, an 8-second knockout win, a 1 minute and 19-second submission win, a 18-second knockout win, and another 18-second knockout win. And then a 1 minute and 12-second knockout win. This guy is getting in and he is getting out. And it's hard to trust one Officer Giles. How many times has Giles dropped the ball, and at the end of the night, you're just looking yourself in the mirror and saying, Trevin Giles fucked me. It's happened to me a ton of times throughout the years. Trevin Giles fucked me a lot. And it could definitely happen here, and I'm prepared for it. Luis Cosce's going to fight for your money, and if he wins, he has a high upside of winning in the first round. Trevin Giles has been finished a ton. I think he's been finished in all 4 of his losses. I think 3 by sub, 2 by sub, 2 by knockout. And like I said, Cosce is very, very dangerous. So Cosce, dart throw, if he wins, I think he scores a ton. Weezy, how about you? Who are you liking as a dart throw?
That was my dart throw too. I mean, it's such a great dart throw. I mean, like, Alen Amedovski is like the destitute man's version of Luis Cosce, right? I mean, like, Amedovski's a first-round knockout artist, but he can't do anything, right? At least Cosce can wrestle a little bit. At least, like, his striking looks a little more, like, non-amateurish, but the guy's tough too, that fight against Palatnikov was a great fight, an all-timer of a fight. And we haven't seen him since. He's still young. He's still getting better. And he's one of those guys that, if you have your money on him, he's not just trying to win points. He's trying to murder you. And at 7,100 over Officer Giles, who we just saw get finished in the first round by Morales, I think it's a good dart throw at the price. I think there's a lot of upside there.
Yep, I like it. All right, Monk, how about you? Who are you liking as a dart throw?
This is kind of a tough category for me. You guys had a few of them that I do like. I don't like a lot of people at the very low end, so I'll give you Bill Algeo kind of as an underdog pick. I think he'll probably be a bit underowned as well. A lot of people are going to be on Fili this week to rebound off of that huge Joe Anderson Brito loss that he suffered. Let's see, back in, what was it? The end of April. So we're at not even 6 months here before, since getting just absolutely finished by Brito here. I like Bill Algeo, though. His points per minute is decent. DraftKings points per win, 93.37. His toughness, though, is what I think shines through here. Fili's really going to have to finish this dude to beat him, I think. I think Bill Algeo always has his hat in the ring for a decision win. Fili has been finished 4 out of his 8 UFC losses, 2 subs and 2 KOs. So the sub is definitely live. Algeo, big, ground game Fili guy. So I love what I'm seeing from Algeo here. I think he has a damn good shot of winning this fight. I think he'll probably get lost in the sauce a little bit this week with 28 fighters on the board, all the way up, ranging all the way up, from 65 to 9,700. A guy, Bill Algeo, at 7,900, who a lot of people are probably picking his opponent this week, I think is going to go under the radar. So I like Bill Algeo for a dart throw. Maybe get a sneaky spot on that optimal lineup at a low salary.
Yeah, I could definitely see him being pretty low owned there. I think that fight as a whole should be pretty low owned, though. Gordo, how about you? Who are you liking as a dart throw?
Yeah, knowing my history, not only on the show, but my DFS style, the dart throw should be Alen Amedovski for me. But this is a spot where, for the first time in my betting career, I've broken my 5-unit scale, and I'm all over Joe Pyfer. And I really think, like, the win condition for Alen Amedovski is just, it's hard to get to. And I do think that it doesn't happen enough for me to even include him as a dart throw. So for me, dart throw is going to be 7.5K, Marc-André Barriault. I think it's a spot where you need to look at ownership here. And I think it is a 14-fight slate. I think it's one where Hernandez is going to garner a lot of it. But although we talk about Hernandez's cardio, like, Barriault is the power bar. He's the guy who keeps walking forward. He's the guy who has decent getting up, takedown, ability to get back up and keep the fight going, and he's going to have the striking pressure. And we mentioned it before, the shots to the body on Hernandez are definitely there. I think Barriault's a smart guy. I think he's going to have the ability to mix it up in dirty boxing range, and I think that with the low ownership he's going to have and the lower price tag, I think he's a decent dart throw for me this week.
All right, I was making sure I wasn't muted. I do agree. I think that one's a very good one. I think Fluffy Hernandez probably is one of the more popular plays of the entire slate. And yeah, Barriault is able to pull it out. I think he scores very well himself. So I think that's a very good one. I'll be on him as well. more so on the fluffy side, though. So what we'll do now is we're going to take a look at our lineups for last week. We'll give our lineups for this week. If you guys have any questions in the chat, be sure to type them in, and then we will get to those. But the lineups for last week goes as follows. So in fourth place was Monk with Almeida, 120, Dumont, 92, Collier, 39, Lioness, 39, Rodrigues, 65, and Diaz, 80 for 437.74. In third place, me with Chimaev, 103, Almeida, 120, Collier, 39, Rodrigues, 65, Ferguson, 37, and then Diaz, 80 for 446.52. And then in second place was Weezy with Chimaev, 103, Almeida, 120, Lioness, 39, Walker, 107, Rodrigues, 65, and Ferguson, 37 for 474.75. In first place is Gordo with Chimaev, 103, Almeida, 120, Collier, 39, Johnny Walker, 107, and then Rodrigues, 65, and Diaz, 80. Congrats, Gordo. You were able to get first place.
Are we just? I know I should be talking about the win here, but can we just address the fact Lioness got 39 points, man? I'm still baffled.
Pathetic.
Won.
Yeah, what a bum.
That's 30 points
of
win bonus. So he scored less than 10 DraftKings points over 15 minutes and managed to get his hand raised. How does that even happen?
I had to address it when I heard you guys break it down. But no, it was a fun week. If Fat Collier didn't ruin it for me, could have been a pretty profitable one, that same line I put in. But it was a good card.
Yeah, man, Lioness, 10 significant strikes in the last 10 minutes of the fight, and he won. Judges, get your head out of your ass. All right, we'll go over the totals for the entire year. We have 31 cards at this point. Fourth place, we got Monk with 12,538. Third place, Weezy with 12,645. Second place is me with 12,982. First place is Gordo with 13,223. I am 241 behind Gordo. Weezy is 577 behind Gordo, and then Monk is 685 behind Gordo. So Gordo is still in first, and he got a first place this week. So Gordo is looking very good. Curious to see how we do this week, and we'll give our lineups for this week. And we will start with you, Weezy. Do you have your lineup ready for this week?
Yes, I do. Up top, we got Cory Sandhagen, then Anthony Hernandez, then Jillian Robertson, Chidi Njokuani, Sarah McMahon, Tony Gravely. $200 of remaining salary.
Goodness, we are very, very close. I as well have Chidi. I as well have McMahon. I as well have Robertson. I have Hernandez. And then I went Damon Jackson. And then I went Joseph Pyfer up top. Monk, do you have your lineup for this week?
Yeah, this could probably change. I'm a bit low on salary, but I got Joe Pyfer, Anthony Hernandez, Jillian Robertson, Chidi Njokuani, Tony Gravely, and Song Yadong.
And Gordo, how about you?
I like that one. I'm close to it. But no, with this one, I went Joe Pyfer up top. We're paying up for it. Cory Sandhagen, Hernandez, Sarah McMahon, Tony Gravely, and Cameron Van Camp.
I like it. All right. Quick picks, and then we will head out of here. Weezy, you got your quick picks for this week. Uh-oh. He's muted.
And that was with me just looking, being like, shit, I don't have my quick picks because I was already looking around. So yeah, go with someone else. I'm getting up my.
All right, got you. Monk, quick picks for this week.
I'm just kidding. I'm not muted. I'm not muted. We're gonna go Nicholas Mata, Tony Gravely, Jillian Robertson, Daniel Zellhuber. Upset City this week in total: Denise Gomez, Trevin Giles, Sarah McMahon, Pat Sabatini, Anthony Hernandez, Tanner Boser, Joe Pyfer, Bill Algeo, Chidi Njokuani, and Song Yadong.
All right, I will start for the bottom as well. Give me Mata, give me Basharat, give me Zellhuber, Robertson, Luke Boonme, Giles, Sarah McMahon, Pat Sabatini, Fluffy Hernandez, Nascimento, Pyfer, Algeo, Chidi, and then Sandhagen. Weezy, are you ready for your quick picks?
Yes, I am. Sandhagen, Njokuani, Fili, Pyfer, Boser, Anthony Hernandez, Damon Jackson, Trevin Giles, Sarah McMahon, Loma, Zellhuber is Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week, Jillian Robertson, Tony Gravely, and Nick Mata.
And last but not least, Gordo, how about you?
Yeah, we're going to go with Cameron Van Camp, Javid Bashrod, Jillian Robertson, Danielle Zellhuber, Loma Lukbunmi, Sarah McMahon, Trevin Giles, Pat Sabatini, Anthony Hernandez, Tanner Boser, Joseph Pyfer, Andre Fili, Gregory Rodrigues, and Cory Sandhagen.
All right, we did it. So yeah, Weezy, let the people know where they can find you. Are you going live tonight, or are you sitting out tonight?
I think I'm going to take the night off tonight. I'm going to be putting together a greasy 4-leg parlay at some point. It might already be very close to done, and I'll probably go on to do that real quick. But Ask Weezy's probably going to be postponed until after the Spiritualized concert here in Chicago at the Vic Theater tomorrow night. So. Yeah, I'm taking the night off. I feel like garbage, so I'm going to just get a ton of sleep and rest up for this concert I'm going to tomorrow.
All right, no shame in that. Have fun at the concert. Should be fun. Monk, what do you got going on for the rest of the week?
Well, work schedule has been hectic this week, so all of my content will be coming out tomorrow, Thursday. We have Salary Voodoo, we have Game Theory, and then the new show Odds on Optimal. I will get that all recorded tonight and tomorrow and have that out for you guys. So my apologies there. Other than that, you can find me over on Twitter at Monkmatics. Just subscribe to the MMA Engine, subscribe to Monkmatics YouTube, and hit that like and sub on Pub Sports Radio as well.
Sounds good. Gordo, what do you got going on?
Yeah, I will be live in, let's say, 90 seconds or as soon as I can to break down the fights with Couch Warrior Pod. We're going to do that at 8 p.m. on the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. All my content is over there. Also editing the DFS video, which should be up probably either tonight or tomorrow morning. And then NASCAR. We talked about it last week. NASCAR breakdown with Ryan Larkin. He called out the exact winner plus 2,000 last week, and he's looking to do it again. So I'll be doing that again tomorrow. Tons of content. All that can be found on the Plays and Fades YouTube channel.
Nice. Sounds good. And I as well will be going live in about 2 minutes on my channel, dfsbythenumbers.com. Going to be doing a best bet special edition on Thursday. Got to get it done earlier in the week because I do have some stuff going on this weekend. So check that out. Check me out, DFS _numbers on Twitter, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. And best of luck for UFC Vegas 60. Should be a very, very fun card.